Good day, fellow modelers. Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Handy's Hobby Reviews. I'm Mr. Handy. We're going to take a look at another detail and scale. This one's on the Delta Dagger F-102. Waiting for one on the Delta Dart, hopefully sometime soon. This is volume 6 in the series. Again, for those of you who have never seen detail and scale, this is your best bet for information and detail and everything for your, in this case, F-102. I picked this up. This was one of the first ones that I picked up, actually, because I have the, I do 72nd scale, so I have the Ming F-102, and I'm looking at getting it all done up. So I picked this one up first. For the uninitiated, detail and scale has been around for many, many years. In my opinion, they are the one-stop for everything that you need. These books give you everything you need to do that kit. So that's my opinion. There are other really good books out as well, but this one, $27, and it gives me everything I need. Their layouts are exactly the same. So when you go in, you've got your introduction, developmental history, armament, and then you get into the different types of F-102, different variants. Bit of a pilot talking about the F-102. You use the F-102 or the F-102 in Southeast Asia. That's my major interest for this guy. And then you've got your walk around, and then you have your ubiquitous modelers section. There's something on the Paved Deuce program, which is your QF-102 units that they're used during during weapon practices. I'm not sure if they use them in Red Flag. I know that they use them during William Tell. Gunsmoke, I believe, is another one that they use it on. So if you're unfamiliar, those are the radial controlled F-102s. So let's get into it. This one published in 2018. I got this one, I think maybe last year, the year before. So start with your introduction. I always say this, and it's the same thing I say over and over and over again. There's so much color in these books. It is fabulous. We've got a introduction. We start talking about all the different interceptors that were used by the States. That is, that's kind of one of my favorite parts of the Cold War. I'm a big Cold War person. My favorite part is the interceptors. So, the F-86 Sabre Dog, the Scorpion, the Starfighter, F-102, F-101, the dual F-101B. So, the F-102 was such a sexy looking plane. Then the F-106 came out, and yeah. So, again, gives you all the information about your F-102, some of the changes that they made, the changes for the wing. There was a different wing that was used on the later ones. The conversion that they made for the trainer, the F-102 Deuce, and I really wish somebody would do this in 72nd scale instead of just a conversion, because yeah, that is such a cool looking plane. Now we start talking about foreign users of the F-102. If I'm not mistaken, it was part of that the plan. I believe it was the Marshall Plan, where they sent off all the extra bits to NATO countries. Turkey used it. Greece used it. I'm not too sure who else. I think it was just those two. But we get into, again, lots of color, bunch of color pictures there. Here's where we get to take a peek at the armament. The cool thing about the F-102 was the internal missile bay that carried the rockets here in the one side. I think it could carry the Genie. I can't really remember. And then the AIM-2. Gives you some more detail of the rocket chutes, F1 or the Falcon missile. More information on the Falcon, and this is absolutely fabulous too. You have scale drawings of the Falcon. You know, like, you can't go wrong. All in color. Rocks drawings are absolutely fabulous. There we go, full scale drawing of the AIM-26 Falcon. Guess that was what I was thinking, not the Genie, the Falcon. So now we get into the different variants. Here we go with this stuff here. This is a internal of the YF-102. Interesting stuff. F-102A with all of your stats. This is interesting. There's serials for all the different blocks of F-102s. Again, another one of these pull apart or internal views of the F-102. TF-102. Again, more blocks with the serial numbers and another internal. And then we get into these wonderful line drawings for each of the variants, which is nice. You've got your prototype YF-102. You've got your other prototype, or the pre-production, then your production prototype, your production aircraft, and your training aircraft. Port and starboard side, which is nice. And then you got a top and bottom view, and then same thing for the TF-102. And then here are some pilots' accounts on flying the F-102. Here's some more of Rock's wonderful color line drawings. Information on the F-102 in Vietnam. Ordnance loads over here by month and year. And then we get into the cockpit layout of the F-102 pictures. These look very similar to the original F-102 book that came out, but this was not in there. And this is some of the added bonus. Again, there's lots of stuff. The original F-102 didn't have all these color drawings. Line drawings weren't in it. The color line drawings weren't in it. So this is a nice revamp of that original F-102 book. Again, lots of cockpit details. Some more color ones. We've got these. I don't know if they're 3D. I'll say it until somebody corrects me on it. Nice illustrations on the ejection seat, which will help out for scratch building. Again, here's another lovely addition to these new ones, are your panels with the numbers for the instruments and what the instrument is. It's absolutely fabulous addition to these. Same thing for your consoles. It's nice to know for those of us that are not pilots, it's nice to know what's in there. You get the same thing for the TF-102, the funky controller for the control yoke for the F-102. So, and more cockpit pictures of the, I believe this one, I can't tell you. I don't know. Oh, F-102A. So these are all for the F-102. I wasn't sure if that was for the TF-102. And then you've got your instrument panels, same as the F-102 for your TF-102 and your consoles, all with the information you could possibly want to know what all those little buttons and switches and dials are. Great information on the interception radar. So great pictures for super detailing. And the canopy details, the absolutely one of the things that I didn't know about until I actually started digging into the F-102 was the split canopy inside the windscreen here in the front. Down the middle is a split piece for quadrant directions for the missiles and for targeting, which is kind of cool. So it would be I don't know if obviously took some real skill flying, because I don't know if I could handle that, a piece down the middle of my car or anything, basically protruding right down the middle and can't see both sides. I'd have to take a look at this side or this side. So it's interesting technology at that time. TF-102 and the canopy, and then we start getting into our walk around. The passive IR sensor used on the later F-102s. Such a cool feature. Again, more detail. Again, these are the bread and butter of these books. This sort of stuff for those of us that are big into the super detailing or want to change up our model a little bit are these access panels, and getting to see what's in there and trying to recreate that. And here we go into the weapons bay. More on the weapons bay here. And then we get into the wing details. So they had the Case X and the Case XX. I believe the difference between the two was the Case XX was a little more curved than the Case X. So again, if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me. I am no expert in planes by any means, so I think the surface area was increased a little bit too. So here we see some good details of the fuel, or the pylons for the fuel tanks, and then details for the fuel tanks. Get into the landing gear detail. More on the landing gear. More landing gear. And your tail and your your speed brakes in the back at the end of the tail. Then we get into the history of the Pave Deuce drone program. Again, this is your remote control drone for training pilots on air interceptions. And then we get into our modeler section with a wealth of information from those guys that have built the models before. So we talk about the Otaki RE Revel F-102. I've had that kit a couple times. It's a nice little kit. It's nice to see that they were able to add to retro wing stuff. The extra details. There's a cockpit and upgrade pieces for this 144 scale kit. They go so far back as to actually build one of the old Revel F-102 kits from the 50s. My dad had one of these, so it's neat. I've seen that box sitting in a closet before when I was a kid, and it's interesting to see it in this book now too. And they do include the main kit in this one as well. Lots and lots of information. There's a 1/60th kit by Alan, YF-102. company that I'm not too familiar with. And then we get into the 48 scale F-102s. I've dreamed about getting this kit. I believe that was the one that was kind of like a toy, but have not seen it. More F40 or 148 scale, the old monogram kit. 30-second scale by combat models, and then a nice summary, and then we get into our the other publications for detail and scale. There's some of the other volumes in the detail and scale series. Down here we have the colors and markings series as well, and then there's a couple of other specialized publications as also. They've got a Facebook page, detail and scale Facebook page. They've got a detail and scale modelers page on Facebook, and they have their actual website, www.detailandscale.com. You can buy their stuff there. There is a whole wealth of detail on that site. There's kit reviews. They've got all types of reviews on that site. There are more pictures of different aircraft. There's a lot more information on the site. You can buy their stuff on the site. So go check it out. Join the Facebook groups. And yeah, this issue or this volume was bought at Amazon.ca. I believe it was $27 and change, so $28. They have a EPUB version of it as well on Amazon. I believe they also offer the EPUB version at at the Detail and Scale site, and you can also pick up the books at Sprue Brothers. So if you're down in the States, it's a little expensive for us to do it here in Canada. Our best bet in Canada is to get it from Amazon.ca. Definitely worth more than worth the $27 that you paid. Like I said, everything you need is in here to build that F-102, whatever scale it is. So the only thing that I kind of miss in this is the decal review that they did in some of the older ones. But other than that, this is all you need to build that F-102. Thanks for watching. Handy reviews with Mr. Handy. Stay tuned for more reviews. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Any comments on mistakes that I've made, please leave them below. And thanks for watching. Happy modeling.